to deal with in the laning stage against Windrunner. And you mentioned it a couple of games back, I think this was yesterday, that the Crystal Maiden can easily drive Windrunner off the lane. If Windrunner tries to fight, tries to stay in the lane, she can always pop that Frostbite, holding the Windrunner in place while she's in Windrun, completely wasting it, and that can lead to some quick kills. So I like the ban. Plus, hey, they need a support.
Oh yeah, and I mean it does have some synergy with the ES, just having the long range Nova with the Fissure. So we'll see what Ice want to go with instead. They are going to have the fourth pick first, and I imagine with that fourth pick they'll just go with one of their supports and save whatever sort of carry or solo hero they have in mind for their last pick for last. I don't think we're going to see Brewmaster in a trial line. I don't think he really excels there, especially with a hero like an Earthshaker. I feel like there's some awkward laning going on. Brewmaster can always go into a solo role if he wants to solo the mid lane, just rush that bottle. It seems to be a popular way for a lot of the teams to play him. But then you've got Queen of Pain, who can't go towards the mid lane, may go towards a safe lane. You can put Queen of Pain in a safe lane as a farmer, but ultimately there's just, there are some gaps with this Ice lineup. I mean, they could run a tri-lane top with Queen of Pain bottom, Panda mid. They have got some versatility that can leave Mineski guessing. The Morphling going to be banned, and with that, Ice going to have fewer options to go for if they want to pick up a hard carry here. OD still in the pool, that's one hero they do use on occasion, but I don't think OD is particularly effective against any of these Mineski picks so far.
Yeah, if you want to pick an OD, BKB is mandatory, and normally on OD you want to get a Force Staff up and a Hex as quickly as possible, so I agree. He wouldn't necessarily be the best choice. He does give you a lot of burst damage, and if you can get the Hex, well, we saw his initiating power yesterday. He was able to pick off a bunch of heroes, including Queen of Pain, with a Blink Dagger, BKB, and Hex, but that is a lot of farm. You can't expect a game to go that late. It will be an Ancient Apparition, and with this pickup, I actually think they might run that tri-lane because you have Fissure, Cold Feet, Clap. That is a really strong chasing power, and you're a very good chance of getting that Cold Feet to set in. If it does, look at Mineski's heroes. They're not the best escape artists, especially in the laning stage. Sure, Night Stalker is very difficult to kill once the nighttime hits. Until then, he's pretty squishy. Windrunner, yes, she's very difficult to kill, but they have a lot of stuns. On the slow from the Panda Clap, it may be enough to bring her down or at least keep her back. Once the Panda gets some levels, maybe gets those quick phase boots up, then you can rotate away from that tri-lane. And do some pulling in the meantime. Ancient Apparition also doesn't need that much farm, which I like this choice because they have a lot of farm-dependent heroes. And it will be a lone druid, so I think we're going to see a quat mid, a lone druid off lane, and a tri-lane on the Panda, and that's going to be a very potent set of lanes. Lone druid very proficient at handling that off lane.
He is, but it's one of those things where he may not get as much farm as he can in another lane. If they really want to prioritize his farm, they may want to put him either at the mid lane or in the bottom lane. And for me, one of the problems is with this trial and with the AA. I mean, Brewmaster, he is fairly level dependent. With the trial, he's not going to get his levels as much as he can. And it's not like ES and AA can just go roam. AA is not the best roamer. I mean, with the ES, maybe you can get some kills, especially on a hero like Night Stalker at mid, who is melee. But ultimately, it's not the most mobile hero. So I feel like it is a very sort of passive and static lane that is going to be coming from Ice. Well, not so much as passive, but a very static lane where they can't just suddenly find themselves having to move to another lane or having to react to something that Mineski do. They're just stuck with that trial. And Mineski going to go with something we've seen Myth Trust use very effectively. It is going to be the Clinks, and I think maybe taking a page from their book, we're going to see how they can use that. I presume as their main carry, probably going to go towards that safe lane with Windrunner at bottom.
Once the first night hits, everyone is going to have to be very careful. Even that lone druid, Night Stalker, Clinks, Windrunner, a lot of chasing power, plus you throw in the Burrow Strike and the Splitter for another disable. This is also a great hero to pick up in this game because a quick Orchid will do wonders for their team. Queen of Pain, Panda, very dependent on casting the Panda Ultimate, the Thunderclap, and especially that Blink for the Queen of Pain. Plus the Earthshaker, the AI, I mean pretty much everyone except for the lone druid is hard countered by that quick Orchid pickup until they can get BKB. I don't really see any Manta-style carriers on that lineup. So I like this pick a lot, and it also improves their laning a little bit. Clinks does need a solo lane generally, but once he hits 6, he can take some trips into the jungle, and he's going to give them very strong lane control. Can easily handle any of the Radiant heroes. Maybe a little bit of trouble against the lone druid, but he should do at least decently in that lane.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, this is it's interesting how they've laned this Ice, I have to say. I mean, I feel like this is going to be pretty effective. I mean, Lone Druid in the safe lane, or I presume in the safe lane at the moment. It looks like he is heading down that way with the Panda Brewmaster, going for that fast ball at mid. And yeah, Queen of Pain in this hard lane is not normally where you want it. And against the Clinks, I feel like Clinks actually has an advantage there because it's his safe lane. He is close to the tower, and it's going to be hard for Queen of Pain to go in to get any harass off.
Oh, I completely agree. And also that orb is just such fantastic harassment. Plus, Clinks has the better range. Sure, his attack animation is one of the worst in Dota, especially for a carry. But that really doesn't matter when your fire arrows are hitting as hard as they do. Once he hits, say, level 3 or level 5, he's really going to be able to drive that Queen of Pain back, and she's very squishy. She can blink to disjoint those arrows, but still, that's not a spammable spell early game. Not really something you want to be using. It looks like for Mineski, it will be an offensive tri-lane with a Windrunner. Pretty hard to set up these stuns, especially early game, but if they can, it's a lot of burst damage, a lot of lockdown here, and if they get a couple kills, we've seen Windrunner be left alone in the suicide lane for ages, and she'll have a decent time. It's Brewmaster versus our NH attrition. Gonna be hard to kill the Brewmaster. AA can sit pretty far back, but he's really not going to be offering much. Actually, B-Boy is going to be hurt. It is going to be a defensive tri-lane.
Yeah, they are going to just swing around, put Brewmaster at bottom lane. I think they changed their mind there. He has picked up some new items there. Lone Druid at mid, up against the Night Stalker. That's a tough lane for Night Stalker. Lone Druid should have that upper hand here for the last inning. Although at the moment, he's using that Spirit Bear just to scout up the jungle, make sure he can keep track of where that Leshrac and Sancting are. Although they do have a smoke if they want to try gank him and avoid that Spirit Bear. As it is going to be a 1v1 at mid, 1v1 at top. Clink's already taking a lot of harass. Level 1, Queen of Pain got an illusion rune, and that is the kind of start Queen of Pain needs up against this tough matchup here.
Yeah, illusion rune is probably the single best rune to have in the laning stage because it lasts for much longer than a double damage rune. You can really use it to last hit well, and of course to harass. Those illusions hurt, especially Queen of Pain's, who have a decent base damage to work with. So it's a lot of damage coming out. Clinks is quite squishy himself, and that gives Queen of Pain the start that she's hoping for. That's going to mean a quick bottle most likely, which will allow her to do a better job of controlling the lane. Can also help out with checking this rune top, especially if the lane is pushed into the tower. Not going to miss too much experience. For now, Mineski, if things proceed, well, actually, the camp is warded off. In fact, 2 sentry wards were used here, and they didn't get anything. They didn't get the ward up towards the river. They didn't de-ward the pole camp. A big waste of 200 gold off the bat, and that's going to make this tri-lane a lot more difficult for them.
Yeah, they were heavily relying. When you're in tri-lane versus tri-lane, it's one of those things where part of the current metagame is you get those sentry wards to make sure you can use that creep ball, and that's how you can make sure you win those matchups here, regardless of if your opponent has a stronger tri-lane. If you've got the creep ball, you generally can come out on top regardless, because of you can control the lane equilibrium, and not to mention you can out-farm your opponent using those neutrals. But 2 sentries being wasted, that's not 200 gold, as well as meaning this tri-lane at bottom is going to struggle. Brewmaster is not going to find an easy time going in to get any farm.
Maybe when you're older.
Speaking of players that are struggling with farm, Clinks only has 3 CS. Oh, first blood as soon as I look away. On the middle lane, actually Mr. Swish picked that up. I completely missed that. I hope you caught it. Looks like initiation on the bottom lane. B-Boy is going to get brought down here. Yep, B-Boy is getting caught out, and the chase continues. HyperX getting Cold Feet up, but he's still going to continue chasing it. Bruce Lee, Split Earth, as well as Barrel Strike. They stack the stuns. Defensive Fissure coming in. That's going to put an end to any ambitions of getting another kill. Still, they got to be happy. 2 kills going their way, and Cold Feet, that may be enough. In fact, it just will not. Oh! 1 more auto attack will do it. Fox is going to get away. Oh no, she's not. 1 more auto attack does it. He just gets the raid. Fissure coming through. Great counter kills for Ice, who looked like they were in danger of losing their tri-lane. Did you see what happened mid?
I did not see what happened mid, but it looks like Lone Druid somehow went down to the Night Stalker. I don't know how Night Stalker's getting a solo kill off on that one. It looks like there is a bit of lag coming out, so maybe that had something to do with it.
That shouldn't happen. For anyone who's wondering why I didn't catch that kill, well, one of the reasons is Lone Druid outlanes Night Stalker hard. He outlanes all melee heroes hard. He really shouldn't be losing that lane. And sloppy play by him, like you said, could be lag. If it is, that's very unfortunate. I'm actually going to ping the players now. The only player who's really lagging is Lutan at the moment. And he plays for Mineski.
Yeah, I think Lutan is... Well, and he's actually in Canada at the moment, so that would explain his high ping. He's playing for Mineski, but he's not actually in the Philippines or in Southeast Asia, so...
That's a bit unfortunate for him. So with this pause and a bunch of action, let's check our gold graph here. First time of the game, and it's pretty even. Actually, very even. XP, dead even as well. If things proceed as planned, or as they've started off, it's actually hard to call it. This is a game where Ice has better team fight. They've got a little bit more burst damage to work with. Mineski, a little bit less reliable spells, I want to say. They don't have that fissure to set everything up. They don't have the Panda ult, which is so good for locking heroes down. But what they have is a lot of ganking, a lot of pushing power, and that Night Stalker, a lot's going to come down to him. And unlike most Night Stalkers we've seen recently, Mr. Swish is getting a fast start, bottle on its way, as well as Boots. So Boots bottle 3 minutes in. That is fantastic farm for a Night Stalker, and he's doing it against one of the essentially a nightmare matchup in this lone druid. It's just a horrible lane, but somehow he gets the first blood, and he's off to a great start.
Yeah, that's really going to help him out. I mean, first blood alone, that's Boots and bottle up already. He's going to be going for that urn as well by the looks of things. And that's, I mean, lone druid, those nukes are going to start hurting because of this early bottle on Night Stalker. Going to give him such great lane control now. He can spam those nukes off a bit. And yeah, lone druid will be in trouble here. Night Stalker can go in looking for another kill. No boots on this lone druid, and that's going to mean he has to be very, very cautiously, especially with nighttime approaching.
Yeah, giving the Night Stalker that fast bottle. His nuke is actually quite cheap. And he's got a decent mana pool for a strength hero. He can spam that nuke 3 times. Oh, initiation on the bottom lane. Gigolo drops the cold feet. It actually was on a creep. That was a misclick by him. Decent hero blocking by Lieutenant. In fact, he might be on the way out himself. Looks like A is going to slow down the clap to fall. Look how much damage that clap does. Split Earth is going to hit on Bruce Lee. 2-hero shackle shot. Power shot piercing through. And in fact, Mr. Swish has joined the fight. A Void will kill someone off if he's able to get enraged for it. Gigolo, or excuse me, GNA. Oh, that is Gigolo, actually. Gigolo going down. B-Boy in some trouble. Bruce Lee into Split Earth. Big plays by HyperX there, or Cell, and a very bold play by him as well to dive with that little HP. Great rotation by Mr. Switch, who's mad to pick up 5 kills for his team, and he's been involved in, well, actually, he's been involved in 3 of them. This tri-lane now, I said Ice did a good job of turning around, but now it's looking like it's lost.
And that was with a daytime Night Stalker going towards that bottom lane. It wasn't even night. He just says, okay, I've got this regen rune, let's go towards the bottom lane. And he just made some kills happen. Leshrac on no HP, 1 nuke left. He got the stun and got a kill. Some great play all around from Mineski, setting up kills left, right, and center. And they are on top of both mid and bottom lane. Top lane, haven't had much of a look up there. Queen of Pain, 27 CS. Clinks is really struggling here, only on 12 CS. It looks like Queen of Pain is on top of this one. Has got that ring of health to help shake off a lot of that Clink's harass. I feel like the bottle would have been a bit more effective.
Oh, middle lane. Wenz is going to go down again. It's still daytime. Great rotation by Lutan. I actually didn't catch if he was smoked up there. Either way, nice rotation. In fact, actually, I believe the ward might have died. No, there is still a ward here. So if he didn't smoke, that's just bad map awareness. But probably it was a smoke gank. And Night Stalker getting yet another kill. Almost hitting level 7. He's got his ult. It's about to be the first nighttime in just 2 or 3 seconds here. And Queen of Pain with that Perseverance, still very squishy. Could easily see her go down to this rotation. Mr. Swish pops the ultimate, looking to set up something top, and Nyx has to be very careful. He had a great time last game. Really got farmed, but you know, in the offlane this time, and with Night Stalker, Mr. Swish thinking about the gank, he's not going to go. Mr. Swish also has his urn. I believe that will be the next choice. If he wants to go for it, he might be just about 100 gold away. As soon as he gets that urn, any kills he get... Oh, on the bottom lane, Cell goes down. A nice return kill for Ice because it's not a tri-lane at the moment. It's only just the Leshrac. Windrunner does return to the lane. Looks like she's rushing either a pipe... Oh, Bear steals the haste rune. Cheeky play by Wenz, who an important deny there. And finally, Wenz is hit level 6, so those voids are not going to be hitting nearly as hard. Bear also hasted. It has entangled. Mr. Swish will be the one on the back foot in this lane for the moment.
Yeah, at the same time, it's now nighttime, so he's probably quite happy. Just once he has that creep wave pushed out a little bit, he can just go look to gank one of those side lanes. May even go for this Queen of Pain. This top lane does look like it needs a bit of help. A kill on this Queen of Pain would be just what Mineski could do with at the moment. So we'll see what he wants to do here. It is a bit hard for him to leave the lane because he can't really push out. He can't just clear the creep wave. And as a result, wherever he goes, he will pretty much be spotted, and it will be called. Bottom lane, they're hunting down. Oh, nice fissure. That was that was needed, keeping AA alive.
That was a kill, and AA just, or ES just saved him, but still, this might be another kill. 3 heroes by Mineski diving in. This is a great time to dive behind the tower. Bruce Lee juking like a boss, showing off some ninja skills here, and Shackle Shot is not going to hit, Burrow Strike not going to hit. They could maybe turn this around. They are going to turn around with the Leshrac, who's tanking the tower. Split Earth will hit. Power Shot is going to hit as well. Will Cell get away again with one of his miracle escapes? It looks like Sand King might die. Tries to Burrow Strike out. Queen of Pain joins the fight. And Queen of Pain at this point is a much better ganker than the Clinks. That's the power of picking up a hero like her. And she is able to turn that around, sort of save the day. Still, Panda only hitting level 5. 8 minutes in, and you mentioned the tri-lane slowing down his levels. Well, the fact that he's dying here is not helping either.
Yeah, that is, he's dying, he's in a trial, and he's under-leveled, and he has not got much farm whatsoever, sitting on just 13 creep kills. He's actually heading towards the top lane where he's going to find the Clinks. I don't think that lane's going to fare much better for him. Clinks, while not doing that well against Queen of Pain, has now found a bit of free farm. Cat caught up on farm, not to mention has the level 6 ulti, will just go into the neutrals whenever possible, spam that Death Pact, and basically hit really hard, hitting for probably over 100 damage a hit on a hero like this Panda. Panda does have the evasion, is fairly tanky, but still, it's not really a good lane for him up against this Clinks.
I am curious what Wenz is going to go for over in the middle lane. And you talk about free farm, he's getting a lot of time to do it because the Night Stalker is out and about looking to set up some kills. Invisible Earthshaker here, no sentry wards up, so he should be okay for the moment, and it's a fresh invis, so he's got about a minute or so of time to just sit here and be ready to counter-initiate. Night Stalker, I don't think he's been spotty yet. Mr. Swish staying very far back. I think he's worried about a lane ward and doesn't want to give away the gank. I would like to see some smokes on a Night Stalker. Oh, initiation. Actually, this might be a horrible decision. Looks like we're going to see Queen of Pain go down here. Silence to start, Void to follow. Actually, no silence needed there. The silence is still... Oh, he doesn't have a point in it yet. A little bit unusual build, but it doesn't matter. He gets the kill. Or Windrunner gets the kill, rather. And with that, the TP out. I guess Panda is getting an odd chance here, though. He's getting the levels, even if he's not getting the farm, and that is an improvement. I think Ice recognized how essential that ult is, especially against the Night Stalker. Is a good start. Panda with his ult can easily turn ganks around, at least drive the Night Stalker back, maybe set up some skills. And hey, Mineski are still pretty squishy, but with the Tri-Lane doing well, Sandcade hitting level 6, the Windrunner hitting level 7, and even Leshrac is having a decent time. He's up to level 4. Compare that to the supports on Ice. They're not doing too bad, but they are a little bit behind.
Yeah, I just hope this is not reminiscent of last game where Mineski did really well in the lane phase, but then come some mid to late game teamfights, got torn apart, and now we're going to see Night Stalker at bottom lane. He does get hit by the cold feet, but it's Sand King who's burrowed in, taking a lot of damage. It looks like Queen of Pain will finish him off with a screen, and the rest of Mineski need to be careful. Winner, oh, not going to get the tower hit. Nice knife from the ES. Fisher going to go in, no follow-up damage. It's the Night Stalker though, missed it, Swish, takes out Queen of Pain, and that's a big kill for him. Queen of Pain was farming well, and now they're going to hunt down Ancient Apparition as well. A couple kills going to be picked up by Mineski here, as well as that tower, even though it did get denied.
Oh, they're not done yet. He might be able to get B-Boy. He actually assumes that B-Boy's run away. It's going to back off. All the while, Wenz is really ignoring his team. He is getting that farm up in a Lone Druid with a quick relic. It's not going to be nearly as fast as that last Lone Druid we saw, but even if he gets it around the 20-minute mark, can definitely turn this game around. Of course, Entangle, one of your best weapons to have against the Night Stalker. If he dives and you get an Entangle proc, then all of a sudden he's the one who's getting initiated on. He's the one who wants to run but can't. Bruce Lee finally gets his ult, 1,000 gold in the bag, so he's getting the levels now. I dislike this Queen of Pain Perseverance build. When your team's talk about that later. Wenz is in trouble, but look how tanky that bear is. And in fact, Mineski are going to be forced back. Yeah, I really dislike the Perseverance choice. I think it's fine when your team's doing well in their lanes, especially if they're winning them. You can afford to sit in your lane, but you have to assume they're going to need your help to gank. When you have a Lone Druid mid, he's not going to be ganking, and you're the only real hero that can contribute in the early game. She's so squishy right here.
Oh, I know, no HP, and here we go. Night Stalker, Shackle Shot, they actually stacked the two disables, but it's not going to matter. There's just so much DPS, and Winner and Night Stalker take her out. And just no HP, just that naked Perseverance is just doing absolutely nothing to help out this Queen of Pain. Needs maybe some treads, even just going for a couple more talismans. And it is not the most effective build for this game, I've got to feel, because, like you said, you need to create room for Lone Druid to farm. You're not going to be able to just keep on farming. And there we go, Lone Druid actually gets found out. Night Stalker going to try to chase this down. Here is the Brewmaster. He's level 6 if needed. Probably not going to pop the ultimate because Night Stalker is too fast and would be able to escape that one. So it looks like a ceasefire is declared by the two teams as they do go back to farming.
I think that's a fantastic way to put it. It looks like Windrunner already has a mechanism. Farming in an offensive tri-lane, that is a really, really fast mech, as well as arcane boots. So let's take a look at creep scores here. BGO1 has really pulled up. He's up to 5 CS a minute because his lane has been unoccupied for most of the game. Queen of Pain, of course, has been busy ganking. She's fallen behind in farm. She's died a few times. There's really nobody who's doing fantastically on Ice. I guess the best performance is the Lone Druid, although he gave up that first blood and died again. He's up to 2,500 gold. Still, a Radiance is nice, but a quick mecha is going to negate a lot of the effectiveness, as well as just the general levels, the extra HP pools of the heroes on Ice. Looks like Night Stalker may be looking to go in mid. Queen of Pain actually will be the one initiating, but just cannot catch that Night Stalker on the nighttime. Hunter of the Night is max. He is simply too fast.
Oh yeah, and we will see him going back towards midnight. He's up to 1,300 gold. We'll see what he wants to get. Probably just going to go for that early Vanguard, I feel. I mean, it does give him some... I mean, it's the cheapest form of survivability. The BKB is nice later on, especially against some of these chain disables and the Queen of Pain nukes, but ultimately, for its price, Vanguard is a very useful item to have. And we will see Sand King trying to get up those Arcane Boots. He's actually doing pretty well. Leshrac, that's main support here, and that's a bit of a worry for him. Whenever you see that primary support Leshrac, he's level 5, he's under-leveled, under-farmed, and he's just going to be very squishy as the longer this game goes on.
Oh, perfect bait there, and Mr. Swish Fissure is not going to hit on the right side. I think they knew he was there. They have this kill ward, and I believe they saw the Night Stalker running up onto their side of the map. Unfortunately, just not able to get anything going. So, actually, I think he went that way. But either way, you get the idea. So it looks like Nyx will be returning top, and this Perseverance, it just feels so bad right now, as he's just not able to contribute, and she is again their best ganker at this stage of the game. Speaking of ganking, oh, Shrek eats the crit from Bruce Lee, swinging that nunchuck, and he will go down. And with that kill, they still haven't used the Panda ult yet. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. As soon as Panda hits 6, normally you will see most teams look to set up some ganks, maybe use a smoke, or have other heroes run towards the Panda, because that Panda ult does have a long cooldown. Might as well get started taking advantage of it early. Shackle not gonna latch, power shot piercing through Bruce Lee, and he will back off.
Yeah, they're still chasing him though. Mr. Switch doesn't have ultimate. He's sort of leading the charge here. He's pretty slow. Panda ulti, a bit preemptive. He's not going to use that for anything. Big mistake from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, it's just not his day today, I feel.
Oh, yeah. He does not look sharp. Maybe he went out drinking last night, or maybe he just couldn't sleep. Maybe his keyboard isn't working. Maybe he's laggy. Whatever the reason is, this is not the Bruce Lee that we've seen before. He's just not playing up to the level he did even yesterday. Yesterday, although they lost, he looked a lot better than this. I think the best word to describe them right now is discombobulated.
Not the word I would have gone with, no. But I'll roll with it, all right? Discombobulated, sure. Why not? I've got nothing better, I'll just agree.
I'm not going to lie. I just really wanted to use that word.
And this is Mineski. I mean, even though it's daytime, they're pretty confident pushing this mid lane. Actually, Clinks, solo kill and Queen of Pain. Why the hell not? Mid lane, there's the engagement. Sand King burrows in. Nuke to follow. On Ancient Apparition, is there a power shot? And down goes Ancient Apparition. Brewmaster is taking a lot of damage as well. He's going to have to almost go back down. He's got no HP regen. And this T1 mid tower probably going to go down as Clinks gets a T1 top tower for Mineski. Mineski making ground all across the map at both mid, top lane. They've already taken the bottom one, and they're getting kills as well. This is not looking good for Ice. Much like game number 1, so we'll see what they can pull together though.
Boy, wouldn't you like to have that Brewmaster ulti in that situation? Yeah. Lest we call the game before it's over. We've seen Mineski before in a very commanding lead. I think I would argue even more commanding than this one, and they threw that away. All this time, you also have to keep in mind that Lone Druid is getting the farm. He's not being ganked. He's not an easy hero to gank, and it seems Mineski has either remembered that he's here, or just decided to take a little peek at his inventory, realize he hasn't bought anything well, and they're going to head down that way while Clinks pressures the top lane. But of course the Bear scouted all of that out, so Wenz is going to go up top. It's Bear versus Bone Man at the moment, and Bone Man is going to be driven back. He's very tanky now, and he's getting close to that Orchid. The next nighttime is going to be so hard for Ice. I mean, yes, Panda very great defensively, same with Earthshaker, but they've had a horrible start, and so they're going to be a lot weaker than they otherwise would be. And with the Orchid, the Night Stalker ganking, the Sand King actually not that far off from a blink. A couple of round moves by Ice, and they're going to be thoroughly punished.
Yeah, I have to agree with this Dire team just getting... I mean, even an underleveled Leshrac, you can just chain together those Suns. Night Stalker is up to 1,400 gold. He picked up those phase boots. We'll see if he wants to go for a BKB Vanguard, or maybe just even straight into that Aghanim Scepter, as that nighttime is approaching by the looks of things. I'm trying to... Actually, no, it's not quite approaching. Still got a bit of time to go. But ultimately, it is just going to be hard for Ice from here on out. They're trying to shut down this Klings. They also need to shut down the Night Stalker ganks. And, I mean, all in all, Mineski to have all their... I mean, their support heroes here, hero farming, their carries are farming, their utility heroes are farming. They're getting up their core items, whereas Ice are just kind of struggling. I mean, Queen of Pain, Boots, and a Perseverance. I mean, just a few of their heroes just not really making ground.
Look at this Windrunner. I mean, talk about farm. This is, again, a suicide Windrunner in a tri-lane. And they died a couple times, although I don't know if she did, actually. Yeah, she died once, but still 4, 1, and 6. I mean, 10 out of 13 kills. She's participated in it, and she's managed to farm her way almost up to a 17-minute Force Staff, Mechanism, Ring of Basilius, and Arcane Boots. That is some fantastic farm. And, of course, you mentioned the Night Stalker. And I guess my main concern for Ice now is even if they get that Radiance up, first of all, I'm not sure how much it's going to contribute. And secondly, because of that Mechanism, because of the general tankiness of the Dire Heroes. And secondly, I'm not sure he'll even get it off. The silence from the Night Stalker, the Blink Stun from the Sand Kitty, which is coming soon, the Shackle Shot, the Split Earth, the Orchid on the Clinks. I mean, Panda has no answers for these. And speaking of that Orchid, it is actually already complete. Clinks is immediately rotating mid, looking to set up some kills. Will Night Stalker actually dive this? Looks like I think he got fogged there for a second. The ult was popped, and they will back off.
Yeah, basically once you hit that Orchid, you want to go start getting some ganks going your way. Look to set that up. And he's going to find this Lone Druid. Lone Druid, though, 1700 HP, has 12 armor, not a chance in hell. Just takes him down by about 250 HP with 3 rag cleats. He was not even going to come close to getting that kill. But here we go. They are going to go for him. They're coming in from behind. They're going to try to get the Earthshaker first by the looks of things. ES does go for an ulti, and there's Brewmaster. He's silent. Brewmaster cannot use that Primal Split. Nice fissure. And it looks like Night Stalker could be in a bit of trouble. The mech has been popped. Sand King takes out the Brewmaster before it can ulti. Sand King goes down, getting entangled. And they also lose the Ancient Apparition, Queen of Pain. Night Stalker just causing all kinds of problems. It's now back to daytime, but that was a very effective Night Stalker Darkness.
I'm shocked that anyone on Ice was near that tower. You just saw 4 heroes mid. I mean, where the hell do you think they're going to go? He just popped the ultimate. They should have immediately retreated to the base, waited for that ultimate to end, and then they could go back to farming. Still, Syllabear did not die. He got the relic. He's only 900 gold away from the Radiance. And if you look at the Dire squad, they have a lot of semi-carries, a lot of heroes that scale reasonably well, but nobody who's a hard carry. I think Lone Druid, with the right amount of farm, can take these heroes late game, but the question is the supporting cast, because Panda in that situation just barely missed getting his ult off. I wouldn't even mind seeing a Vitality booster here just to get a little bit more survivability, or perhaps the better option would be a BKB rush. Normally we don't like to see that on Panda, because BKB won't help you in ult form, but I think here it might be a necessity.
Yeah, I mean, for me, even like sort of mid to late game, the Dire team just have so much burst damage. And there we go. There's burst damage coming out on the Earthshaker, the silence plus the searing arrows. ES going to go down. The Orchid bonus damage, finish him off. And that's the problem. I mean, between Clinks, Leshrac, the Sand King, they just have amazing burst damage. The Night Stalker and Winner are great for setting up these kills. And the Radiant team are going to have to be playing very defensive, relying on Brewmaster to get an ulti off. Brewmaster, who's actually level 8. He's so under-leveled as well. You're looking at a level 1 ulti for quite a while still. And even looking at Ancient Apparition, level 6. This is a big XP difference. Over 10k difference in XP between the two teams. I've got to feel, I mean, maybe the Lone Druid can be, on his own, can be a better late game carry, but he doesn't even scale amazingly well into the late game. And I have a feeling that this Dire team will have enough damage and enough lockdown. They can just kill that Spirit Bear with relative ease, with shackle shots, with nukes, with stuns, and with the Clinks DPS.
Well, Mineski has fantastic map control after taking down that tier 2 mid. I like this aggressive ward here. I think we saw one of the Chinese teams do it yesterday. This is a really nice ward to place. It's also out of range of some of the standard counter ward locations over here if you're trying to deward the hill. So good job by them. It's going to give them a little more knowledge of the Radiance movements, and if you have that knowledge, you have the power to kill them. Knowledge, of course, being power, and B-Boy is going to eat the suds as well as the Void. What will the Queen of Pain be able to do here? She drops the Scream and Clinks in the back lines. Didn't even use the Orchid for that kill. He might be able to get more. Blink Burrow Strike in from the Sand King. And so far, Panda ult is actually doing a decent job here. Looks like Night Stalker in some trouble. Quapo completely whiffing that one. That was a pretty awful ult, but Clinks will go down. Mineski, big overextension. Epicenter being channeled. Nice shackle shot. And that's going to be close to a team wipe, if not an actual team wipe. As it looks like Wen's on the way out. Bruce Lee on the way out. Mr. Swish should be able to clean up this one kill. What is Wen's doing? He's hoping... Oh, the Radiance is up through all of this. And it looks like Lieutenant... Will he go down? Will the Syllabear clean up and save the day? Mr. Swish so low. He will go down. And there's that Radiance.
Oh.
What a time to pick up the Radiance.
4 Mineski heroes get taken out. 2 going to that Lone Druid at the end. I mean, it just took one... It was, what, 1 buyback coming from the Earthshaker, and that, I mean, that's a massive loss. I mean, in the end, I'd say that was a fairly even team fight. I don't think Mineski won as convincingly as they looked. I mean, they had some amazing shackle shots, some great teamwork, but just the survivability of the Syllabear combined with that Earthshaker buyback, coming back to get a few more additional stuns, and they just, I mean, they lost 4 heroes there, only taking 3, I think 3, maybe 4, and they did force 1 buyback, but still, they're buying time for this Lone Druid to get more farm. I'd suggest he wants to go for a pipe at this point. The Assault Crest is nice, but you do definitely need a pipe against this style lineup.
Yeah, the pipe also a lot easier to farm, and the components are going to be very helpful to you. The Hood of Defiance in particular, that clicks Orchid damage, the bonus damage the Orchid does is magical based, plus the fire arrows, and then of course you all know about the nukes on the Dire squad. So I really like the pipe choice. It's also going to help ensure the Panda gets his ult off. Speaking of Bruce Lee, that fight got him very close to a Blink Dagger, and while we've seen him have trouble to get off the ult here or there, he did get it off in the last fight, and with the Blink, he'll have the opportunity to initiate and sort of determine the course of action, and it's going to limit the chances of him getting silenced up or stunned before he can drop it. Bear is taking a bunch of damage here, and they're wasting a lot of time chasing this. Without the clicks, it is pretty hard to bring this Bear down, but for now, the Bear proving to be quite a nuisance, delaying any thoughts of Roshan.
There we go. He's got it back coming to him, and he couldn't actually resummon it, so it's probably a good thing that he did keep that alive. As we will see them probably making a play on Roshan at the same time, and maybe they're just happy to keep on farming out these lanes, going for Roshan and trying to prevent Mineski from taking that. Could be a risky move, could be a bad team fight. It could just ultimately be better to catch up and farm, especially on heroes like this Queen of Pain, who is just really struggling. It looks like we are going to see Mineski take an uncontested Roshan, unless we see Ice head there now. And there we go. AA Ultimate. They're going to try and contest this. They're on their way. The Bear with the Radiance is going in to scout things out as well.
Oh, Mr. Swish getting quite low. No bashes on him. Very lucky. Sanke does get bashed. He might go down. He will go down. Oh, here comes the Bear with the Radiance. Nobody's taking the Aegis. Someone grabbed the damn Aegis. Finally, Bruce Lee picks it up, and it looks like BGO1 is on the way out. I'm not sure how he's not in biz. He wasted the Skeleton Walk. Echo Slam. Mineski is falling apart before Eyes again. Panda ult is popped. A single... Oh, the Queen of Pain ult missing. Everyone seems to be failing in this fight. Mr. Swish looks like he will go down to that Radiance burn damage. Will he survive? No, he gets thrown up in the air. That should be enough to kill him. No, Force Staff. Oh, it's not going to get him down the hill, but I think he might be okay. And Clinks did buy back. It looks like he should be able... Oh, they first hit Entangle. Whoa, hey, ulti as well. Clinks maybe going to go down again. He will go down. Monster kill still on the Windrunner, who has managed to live. Fissure coming through. They finally take care. I didn't even see who had the Aegis, or I forgot, rather. It is going to be the Panda who comes back to life. He blinks in onto the Sand King. Sand King burrow strikes through. He's looking to get out. He's going to slowly die to Radiance here. In fact, the Clap as well, going to make it a quick death. I think Mr. Swish bought back, or maybe, no, I think he's been healing up during this fight. Wens with the triple kill. Roshan attempt gone horribly wrong. This belongs on a bloopers reel, I think. I think that's the only place it belongs.
Holy crap.
That
was absolute mayhem. It was just all over the place. Just kill after kill. A couple buyback, a couple respawns, just teams running in. It was just mindless aggression as well, it felt like, which was sort of the disappointing thing for me. There was not much organization or coordination between the teams. It was just go, go, go. Let's get some kills. We've got the momentum. Both teams thinking they had the momentum and the advantage, but not really being the case for either one, and a lot of blood being spilled on both sides.
Wow. After that fight, he gave the Lone Druid a triple. I think the Panda lived through it well. Yeah, he did, because he had the Aegis, and that's 700 more gold for him, but much more importantly, he's got that level 2 ult. Getting close to level 12, and Panda has good strength gain. He tanks up simply by leveling quite a bit. Of course, he's got that passive Drunken Brawler, as well as the Drunken Haze, and, well, you talked about how the Dire have a lot of decent damage dealers in the late game. They do have a lot of semi-carries, a lot of burst damage, but one way to deal with that, especially the Clinks, is that Drunken Haze. Even a single point really disrupts the Clinks' ability to deal damage, and he's not going for a BKB anytime soon. I kind of think that's a mandatory pickup here. He went for a Crystallis, and we saw in that last fight, he is fairly squishy. He got focused down. Even something like an Ogre X might have kept him alive. The Windwalk was close to coming off cooldown. What a sloppy fight, though. I mean, the Aegis sat on the ground for like 4 seconds. I have no idea what either team was thinking. I guess, it was just a bunch of miscommunication. This is a very stressful time, especially for Mineski, who are on the verge of elimination from this tournament.
And ultimately, Clinks ran in to try to pick it up, but by then it was too late. Brewmaster got it, and I think that was partly why he was then revealed. He couldn't go back into Windwalk and just got picked off. And that was just the start of a terrible team fight for Mineski. And it just feels a bit like deja vu.
Oh, it does. Do you know, maybe the Panda used that to spell magic on the Wind Panda? Because Clinks, I feel like he should have been invisible there. He hadn't been attacking anyone. They didn't have any detection that I could see. So I'm not
I
sure.
do not see. It's possible. I think that does get rid of Windwalk. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not
but
even
I think
sure if
might.
it does, but just a random thing I'm throwing out there. Oh, and the Aegis did get used, so I guess that's something Mineski can be happy about. They don't have to fight the Aegis. That's already been taken care of. Gem of True Sight picked up on Bruce Lee, and this is going to really make things more difficult for Clinks. When you go for that quick Orchid, you want to assassinate heroes. You use it to be aggressive early on. For now, he might find the one hero who doesn't have the Orchid. Or who isn't near the gem, rather, and that would be the Syllabear. BKB picked up on the Night Stalker, a big item pickup, and I guess it's a good time to check general item progression. Really nothing too much aside from that. Windrunner actually the ultimate orb. I think she's the most farmed hero on her team, working towards that Hex.
You've got to wonder, Clinks, I mean, he's got the Crystals. He needs to transition to a BKB, though. Without BKB, he's just not going to have the survivability he needs in these team fights. As that A ultimate is going to go looking for him. It's going to land. Clinks going down at top lane. Caught out in no man's land. BG01, the anti-mage who did not die a single time last game, is struggling to repeat the same performance this game.
Yeah, the farm on him, he is lead. Oh, he's actually slightly behind Wen. Still, he's farming well, but Clinks is not a hero like an anti-mage that if you just get a bunch of creeps, you can pretty much out-carry anyone. He's definitely a semi-carry, momentum-based hero. And the Ice has plenty of lockdown to deal with them without a BKB. Like we've been saying, it's just, what do you do? I mean, even just the raw burst damage, forget about the disables. They have enough nukes to bring him down. That Quap ult is really going to hurt. The Clap, the Fissure, the A ulti in particular. Night Stalker pops, BKB charges in, Pineda immediately pops the ultimate, blinking onto the Leshrac, and it looks like Leshrac will be going down here, as well as Windrunner. Oh, nice Epicenter. Actually, no, it was a horrible Epicenter. Didn't hit anything. I thought it was good for a second. And meanwhile, Panda is locking everyone down. Lone Druid, where is the hero? I just see the bear doing a bunch of work. Double kill coming up for the Night Stalker. Echo Slam as well. Lutan is going to get entangled. He's going to go down. And Mr. Swish without that BKB likely to follow. Mineski appears to be falling apart before our eyes for the second time tonight. And if they do this again, they're out of the tournament.
Yeah, and we're going to see them still trying to chase down Mr. Swish. Mr. Swish will go down. One more right click. Yes, B-Boy getting the last hit. And now we're going to see Winner. I don't think Winner wants to go in here. Clinks is there for backup. Clinks does have that Orchid up. We'll be looking for some pickoffs here. Not going to happen. Gem is actually up on that Lone Druid, helping out spot the Sand King as well as Clinks went during those team fights. Really nice pickup from him. And this Chainmail gives him some additional survivability from all that right-click damage coming from those heroes as well. I really think Ice are just once again pulling things together in the mid-game with these team fights, just fighting so much smarter than their Filipino counterparts.
Yeah, this is just one of those situations where, you know, experience is maybe a little bit more important than, you know, the better, you know, having the more talented player. So even if the Dota 1 lineup maybe wasn't quite as experienced at Dota 2, you know, they're not quite as good at the game with their mechanics. Even if that is the case, they do have a lot more experience playing with each other. In a situation like this where you're able to get a lead, you have to be able to hold it. You can't make these sloppy mistakes. And with after all of this action, it just feels like Ice are the ones who can sit back. Now, Courier might get picked off here as well as Quap. That would be a loss, but in comes Syllabear. Very timely arrival. I think the Orchid damage will not be enough. Indeed, it won't. Clink's not getting tangled. Very lucky for him. A single entangle will probably spell his death. That Assault Cuirass is coming soon. You mentioned the Chainmail. I guess it's not going to be a mechanism. Low Druid almost, in fact, it's about 200 gold away, and that Assault Curse is going to be a huge pickup. So much armor granted to the entire team, plus the bonus damage, the pushing power, and the defensive capabilities. This guy is a beast, and he's only getting beastlier.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, they still don't have I don't think they've got mech or pipe at this point in the game. I do feel they could definitely benefit from that. I mean, he's had this headdress for a while. He can probably go for that pipe after the Assault Crash, although by then it will be a fairly late one. But at the moment, Smoke has been popped by Ice. They're sort of lurking around this top lane, trying to use the Lone Druid as bait, but it doesn't seem to be working. And similarly, Mineski sticking together, roaming through the enemy jungle, just going to drop some Observer Wards, leave them there so they can maybe try get some later pickoffs, but both teams eluding one another.
Well, who do you gank at this point on Mineski or on Ice? I mean, I think the smoke gank is silly simply because there's nobody that's easily picked off. I mean, even the Quap now has 1300 HP. She's close to the Lincoln Sphere. The low Druid is unkillable. Like, don't even bother trying to go after him. B-Boy can sit so far back on that Earthshaker. The AA as well, he is like a siege cannon. He's very easily killed, but his positioning has been pretty good in these fights, and he's just never going to be in a situation where they can easily pick him off. And even if they do, it's only an AA. Bruce Lee is tanking up quite a bit, of course, with the Blink Dagger. Lodred getting the last hit on the tower. The Assault Cuirass definitely going to be coming online now. Immediate TP back to base. I expect him to purchase it momentarily. The Bear still pushing out top lane. It gets ported back. And there's your Assault Cuirass. There's your Assault Cuirass.
Ooh.
There's your Assault Cuirass. There we go.
And that is going to give him a lot of team fight damage as well as attack speed on that Bear. We'll see even more roots coming out. Mineski, though, they're still being aggressive. They've taken down all these out towers. They're going to get a kill at bottom lane. It's Clinks redeeming some of his former poor plays, and he's going to get that back off. And there we go. He's got the Ogre Club. He's going for a BKB here, not just going to try rush the Daedalus, as he still has a bit of a way to go, about 1800 gold before he can afford that BKB, though.
It is currently daytime at the moment, and of course that makes things a lot more difficult for Mineski. They are very reliant on that Night Stalker to initiate. They do have a Sand King, but Sand King at this stage of the game, you don't want him to be the first one in. You want him to be sort of your secondary initiator, maybe your counter initiator. Let the Night Stalker go in first with a BKB. Even if he dies, as long as he's able to get off a silence tank for a while, that's his job. Speaking of initiation, they're about to get a Hex on that Windrunner, and that's a big pickup. They could make, you can Hex the Bear and allow teammates to at least run away from it. Of course, Hex versus Panda, Queen of Pain, give you an extra bit of lockdown, and Earthshaker as well, another hero that you want to be able to pick off. So that's going to be a nice pickup. I mean, Mineski still, they're not out of it. They haven't thrown the game. It's just at the rate they're making mistakes, they will be soon. So they, this is a part of the game where the best thing they can do is farm up, play very carefully, go for those easy kills, but don't take too many risks, because after all, you are on the dire side, and eventually you will have another Roshan attempt, and hopefully this time you can redeem yourself and not give away an Aegis as well as a bunch of kills.
Yeah, absolutely. And Roshan is actually coming back up in about a minute's time, so it's going to be very, very soon. As Night Stalker is a bit low, he may want to heal up. He has got plenty of own charges. He's going to find his Spirit Bear, and he's going to try force it to use that recall, as it does look like it will do so just before it takes any more damage. Bottom lane, though, second time in about as many minutes, we are going to see Clinks getting another pick off. This time it's on Queen of Pain, and Clinks will just wander off, quite easily escaping that one. Really nice play from him, just getting a couple pick offs, redeeming himself, that is for sure. It's
really unfortunate, because that gem, I believe it was initially on the Panda, and I don't know if he ran out of inventory space or what, but the Lone Druid at some point picked it up or was just given it. And if Panda had the gem there, that's a kill on the Clinks. It's also a Queen of Pain that lived, so just some bad luck. I mean, I think this is where Clinks shines. If in this stage of the game where both teams are farming, even if he's not getting kills, it forces you to stick together, and if you don't, then he can punish you. Queen of Pain really wants that Lincoln Sphere. If she had it, then Clinks can't use the Orchid on her, and she would easily escape every time. Unfortunately, just keeps on dying, giving him that gold, giving him that BKB money. And I'm guessing he's getting very close. In fact, it looks like it's on its way now.
Yeah, he's bought something. I can only guess that it will be that BKB. Meanwhile, over on the Radiant side, Ice are grouping up. Their support here is very underfarmed. The Ancient Apparition still struggling to even finish off an Urn. The Panda has a Blink Dagger, starting at that BKB, which you mentioned could be quite useful on him. Or it could at the same time be going for a Heaven's Halberd. Sandy Yasha would be a bit surprised, but Heaven's Halberd, though, I think would be alright here, especially against the Clinks. You get the evasion, you also get some bonus HP, as well as the Sand effect. So it's not the worst time in the world. Queen of Pain, forced to blink away, had run into some troublesome illusions. It wasn't sure quite what was real, as we will see a bit of a stalemate between these two teams. We're going to have to wait and see which teams wants to go for a smoke first, which team wants to commit to Roshan. Roshan is up now. Neither team seems that interested, though.
Oh, this is a dangerous time here for both teams, and it looks like Sand King coming from the low ground. Smoke up by Mineski, immediately dispelled. They know the Clinks is nearby. I'm not sure if they actually spot him, though. They had Sentry Ward is dropped. Clinks eats a Fissure as well as a Cold Snap, and he might be in a bit of trouble. He pops the BKB, and it actually is going to turn that one around. What a great time to have a BKB. Pen almost popped, but BKB's really counter that. TP out attempt from the Ancient Apparition. He is going to get away immediately. Targets are changed. Lone Druid on the way out. The Hex picked up. So many key items picked up in this fight. And I'm not sure where the rest of the team is. It looks like they all either TP'd out or just ran away. Queen of Pain not contributing. AA ult is going to fly through. It hits. The gem drops. Mineski, a good time to win a fight, because guess what? Roshan is back up. Oh, it looks like Bruce Lee is going to go down here. Ancient Apparition, nice snipe by him. Does get a 1 kill. It's only on that support with Shrek, so not a big deal at all. And with all of those kills, as well as the gem going their way, do they see it? Indeed they do. Lodred buys back. I believe Ice wants to contest this Roshan. It's going to be tough, though, because the Dire have some good wards up. They will see the most likely path into the pit. Even if the Bear scouts it, it's not going to be able to actually right-click the heroes because the hero is not too nearby, and they can easily drive the bear back, if not destroy it at this stage of the game.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of those things where Lone Druid, I mean he can do some big damage and somewhat scale into the late game, but that Spirit Bear can only be so tanky. I mean it's got 2.7k HP, but you can't really boost its survivability by much more than you already got. He does get a kill. AA ultimate with the Radiance, they kill the Windrunner near Roshan.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a nice job by Wens there, and it doesn't totally make the buyback worth it, but it's certainly a start. If you're Ice, how do you avoid a fight like that in the future? I feel like they just got initiated on. The Cliques in particular had good position, and so maybe they should have smoked up earlier, because if they had, they would have noticed the smoke dispelling them. They might have been able to catch out Cliques before the whole team surrounded them. They need to get the jump on heroes, because these BKBs being popped really negate the effectiveness of the Panda, as well as the Earthshaker. They can't do anything at that point, and Lone Druid is strong, but he's not that strong, and a decent chunk of his damage is that Radiance burn from the Spirit Bear. Oh, Bruce Lee does blink away. Spidey senses tingling. So for the moment, it looks like really not too much happening. The Dire just pushing their advantage a bit by farming the enemy jungle. BKB up on the Sand King. Lots of BKBs being picked up, and this Radiant lineup, the only answer they have for that is the Entangle on the Spirit Bear. Wen's taking a bunch of damage. He will be okay, but he's being driven back. Clinks, oh, and there's the Panda with that Drunken Haze, but Clinks will simply strut away so fast in that Windwalk. Gods, you still with me?
Yes, I am still with you.
Okay, no problem. Just wanted to make sure, because you weren't talking, so figured you might be having some mic issues or net issues, but... so it's
all good.
It's a tough situation here, and if you're Ice, I mean, it felt like they turned the game around, but Mineski just a couple more semi carries right now, and the BKB is really an answer to a lot of what Ice has to offer.
And I mean, these heroes, I mean, they're great in the mid game, but even in the late game, having those chain disables from Sand King, Windrunner, Leshrac, and then even the Night Stalker, I mean, those nukes with the silence can be really good. ES going to go in, they want this Sand King. Sand King put out position, pops a BKB, but if they can get an Entangle, they can get this kill. It's not going to come. The gem, right click, they get the kill with the Queen of Pain. Nice pick up there, and there's your Entangle. Leshrac going to go down. 2 kills for Queen of Pain. And, I mean, once again, this game just bouncing back and forth. One team seems to be ahead in 1 minute. The next minute, it's the other one.
I feel like a ping pong ball, and the two teams are just batting us all over the place. I have no idea what's going on. You can't even call a game like this. You can't even say that a team that has the advantage is likely to win. It's just such a deviation from casting teams such as Tongfu, where if they get a lead, you know the game's over. You will never see Tongfu lose with a 25-0-6 anti-mage, but hey, it does make for some excitement here. Still, it can be frustrating as a caster and as a fan of these teams to see them with leads just sort of, throw them away, really, and looks like Ice wants to go for high ground. That Spirit Bear is going to be wailing away on the racks, very quickly damaging him down.
Man, this is Mineski again with like a 12k gold lead. ES is going to get down by the Clinks. Nice positioning there. He does get a dust off just before he goes down, but now Brewmaster needs to maybe pop an ultimate. He does not have it. It is on cooldown, and Clinks still trying to chase down Wens. Wens ultimately getting sheep. Lone Druid in trouble. AA ultimate going to help him out here. He is going to go down, and there is no more backup for him. I mean, Mineski, they strike back.
Mineski strikes back indeed. The gold graph sort of settling around that 12,000 mark here, and it is, I want to say it's about a 20% lead, so that's a pretty good chunk of gold to have. Their team generally scales better with that gold. I gotta say, one of the big disappointments for Ice has to be this Queen of Pain. Nyx played really well in that Morphling last game, has just had a horrible, horrible time. I feel like he's better on a hero that can afford to farm more. The Morphling, he farmed all game, he went for the quick linkage, and then he continued to farm. I'm not sure he's well suited for this hard carry role, and you saw it in the item selection with the Perseverance. It seems to me like he's a player who benefits from having all those items and knowing that he can be hyper aggressive, and frankly against Mineski's lineup he just could afford to do that. So one of the main reasons why they're behind at the moment has to be Nyx. Of course, the BKBs are all available on Mineski. They've got the sheep up on the Windrunner. So much power for Mineski to just lock heroes down, whereas for Ice it is pretty difficult. Now they do have a blink on Earthshaker. It is a split push here for Mineski, and this can either be a good thing, or it can be bad if they fight without the Clinks and they lose because of it. That can be a problem. But for now, it looks like they are going to group up and work down this tower mid. No resistance.
Yeah, and they're going to get at least a tower out of this. They're going to start going for this Rax. The AA ultimate going to go flying in. Now's the time. Ice need a strike. ES has got the Blink ulti. Is he going to go Queen of Pain ulti? They wipe out the Clinks. Aegis is going to trigger in a second. And ES still waiting patiently for that opening. Clink's going to pop the BKB, and ES is going to have to wait even longer for those BKBs to wear up, as Clink's just going to focus down this Rax. And now, it looks like they're not going to commit to this. They're not going to get this Rax. Sanking stuns his way in. There we go. Clinks gets a few more right clicks. ES just did not find an opening to get off an ulti that entire fight.
Yeah, also the Panda ult was never dropped. I believe he was silenced or stunned the entire time. Very unfortunate, and you know, this is where that BKB would be helpful. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite have the money for it. TP out attempt from SEL, he will get away. TP out from Fox, he will get away. And Ice, losing the melee Rex, have to be frustrated. And even we've seen this movie before, but hopefully if you're a Mineski fan, it will end differently next time, or this time.
Yeah. I mean, there's the one barracks lead for them. I mean, they're looking to be good. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx it. Mineski, I mean, they've got a strong mid to late game lineup. They've got all these BKBs. They've got the disables. Leshrac a bit underfarmed, and as a Leshrac, it is a very, very squishy hero in the late game against some of these Radiant heroes. Lone Druid, though, it's just one of those things. He's kind of gone past his peak. He's no longer as effective as he once was. And it's almost getting to a point where you need to put the Radiance and the Assault Crest on your main hero, because that Spirit Bear can get focused down with such ease, especially by heroes like this Clink, who now has a Daedalus.
Yeah, and unfortunately, one of Lone Druid's weaknesses as a carry is that generally he will be in that, in fact, almost always, especially in competitive games, he will be in that melee form when it's late game situations, and he can be very easily kited. He's very reliant on his teammates to set him up, lock heroes down. Even if you get lucky with an Entangler or two, at this point, that's just not enough to kill anyone on Mineski, and if they hold on to their BKBs, they can always BKB out. Plus, look at their maneuverability. They've got the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, they've got the Force Staff on the Windrunner, as well as the Windrun ability, and the general maneuverability of the Clinks and the Night Stalker. Yeah, you might kill the Leshrac, but that's not going to win you the game. I guess this is a situation where you'd like to have someone like an Enigma or a Beastmaster, heroes that can go through that BKB and really discourage a mass BKB strat. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late for that. Can't go back and draft differently, and so Ice continued to sit on the back foot, hoping for Mineski to make a mistake, which Mineski has shown a propensity to do today, and it's certainly possible they could do it again, but they seem to be playing this one a little bit more cautiously, especially after that Roshan engagement.
Well, they are, but at the moment, I mean, none of the heroes have buyback apart from the winner. So pick off hero there, big ES ulti, and Ice can suddenly find themselves winning a team fight and then pushing on forward, taking maybe one Serax, maybe two, if they can just get 2 or 3 heroes down in a big team fight, because none of them have buyback apart from Windrunner. Windrunner up to 3.6k gold. Probably, I hope, just going to sit with enough gold for buyback. And now it looks like they want to use Lone Druid at top as bait. Sanking and Night Stalker are charging down towards the top lane. Assault Crest up on Night Stalker. He's going to have a lot of farm, but his HP is actually not that great. He's still fairly squishy, and he's going to be relying a lot on that BKB to keep himself alive.
Wow. Yeah, that Assault Cuirass on a Night Stalker. More farm than we normally see Night Stalkers get, because he isn't very good at turbo farming. Generally gets all of his gold from ganking. And I suppose Mr. Swish has done a lot of ganking this game. He is 11-2-8. Great score by him. Really everyone on Mineski performing well on the kill board, except for that Sankula Shrek. They are the hard supports, and they're still contributing, still involved in a lot of these kills. The smoke bait attempt, it failed. They decided to back off in the end, and Bruce Lee is going to farm up bottom. They do have an invisible Quap here. Actually, sorry, it's a smoked up Quap, and she is going to spot out the Clinks, but you can't really lead with this Quap. She's not going to be able to clutch out the Clinks. There's no Hex on her. Shadow Strike is not enough of a slow to keep up.
And if she blinked after, Clinks would just pop a BKB and right-click the Queen of Pain down in about like 4 or 5 right-clicks, so it was not going to be a situation where Ice could get any pickoffs there. They have got this gem, though, so it's going to prevent Clinks from being too aggressive if there's someone who can stun the Clinks if he tries to run in. Pop a Fisher before the BKB goes off, and you can get a kill on that Clinks, and we're going to see a lot of sentry wards down. Even with the gem, they still have all these sentries, and they're walking right past half of them. Leshrac decides, okay, let's just reveal ourselves. Let's go attack, and I believe the jig is up. Yep, the jig's up. Mineski not going to worry too much about this smoke attempt. They're just going to try to push down this bottom lane.
They're all grouped up bottom. And it looks like they're going to see the attempt on the... Wow, look at that Clinks. Critting for 862. He doesn't even have Death Pact up right now. Would like to see him eat any creep just to get a little bit extra damage and HP. Of course, he could hold on to that and try to do a turnaround with it, but generally, just use it right away so you don't have to worry about it during the fight. Shackle Shot not going to latch. But if you're on ice, you just have to constantly be worried. Shackle Shot's so spammable, and if one ever hits, the fight is over for you. That Shackle Shot, they have enough burst, enough initiation, especially with that SK, to lock you down, pick you off, and with a kill or two, that will be the fight. So for ice, it's just kind of a waiting game here, but a very dangerous one. And in fact, Mineski is going to back off. Roshan is up again.
Yeah, that's the priority here. The Roshan this time is Aegis and Cheese. They'll want to get one of those on the Clinks. He's the main hero they need to keep alive. Night Stalker as well, probably going to take maybe the Aegis with the Cheese on the Clinks. We'll see what they want to do here. But this is going to help out Mineski a lot. And Ice, they're stuck in their base. They can't even go out. If they risk being picked off, they don't have the map control. They don't have any awards up. And as a result, this is just a free Roshan for Mineski, who are getting more and more farm. Mura can pick up a big item here, sitting on 5k gold.
She is getting big. I guess at this point, maybe you go for a little more damage. You've already got the Assault Caress. Suppose you could go for something like a Vlad's or... do they have a Pipe? No Pipe. Pipe might not be a bad choice. Maybe even a BKB just to make her impossible to focus. Because if you mass BKBs, they become... Each BKB that you add to your team against a lineup that has no counter for them, they become more effective than the previous because it limits who you can focus. And right now, it's only the Leshrac that can be focused down. And even if they go on him, that's just an opportunity for Mineski to counter-initiate. They don't need Leshrac for his damage. They don't need him for his stun, really. He's just sort of there as cannon fodder. And if he gets to do some damage, that's nice, but it's not really important. Wen's up in the front lines, trying to tank up. He does have 35 armor. Still, I feel that he'll drop pretty quickly if they focus on him. This Clink's hitting so hard.
Yeah, and he's got this plate now. I don't think he's actually going to be using it for anything. We're not going to see a Shiver's Guard on him. There's not much else he can build with this plate mail. I mean, he could go for a blade mail if he went for the chain mail, but here we go. They're going to go in. Clinks is just focusing down the tower, not overcommitting. They force out a glyph, and now in goes the lone druid. His bear, Leshrac, in all kinds of trouble. The Radiance damage. Leshrac on 10 HP or so. And it looks like with that Split Earth, the Spirit Bear will get forced to be resummoned. And now, if it dies, it is out of the fight. And that's Radiance and Assault Caress. They should just focus down this Spirit Bear. If they kill that Spirit Bear, it could be game over. But no, Kling's BKB, he's focusing down the main lone druid, who is just so damn tanky. And in goes an AA ultimate. If this lands, it could be trouble. It doesn't hit anyone. And Sanking, BKB, Epicenter gets taken out by the Panda ulti. And not only he goes down, Klinks goes down as well. Leshrac goes down. This is another Mineski throw, it appears. Aegis on the Night Stalker has not been used, but all 3 of his teammates are dead.
This is a nightmare if you're Mineski. They just can't seem to end a game, and... Oh my...
Poor Mineski fans. I feel bad for Mineski fans.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm just speechless. There wasn't a horrible blunder there. I guess the one thing I would point to is, well, first of all, the bear got a nice entangle on Clink, so that was just really unfortunate timing. I guess the cheese was given to him right as he died, but he wasn't able to pop it. So the entangle was a little bit unfortunate. The epicenter, it really didn't hit anything. It only worked. It only damaged those Panda illusion or the Panda ultimate form, and you know he's of course he's going to reform after that. They dove a little bit far. I think the Night Stalker was premature on that BKB pop. I think you can just run in as Night Stalker at this point, and they will back off. Plus, you have the Aegis, so let them focus. You save that BKB for a better timing. If it was up there, he could have at least scared some heroes back. Heroes that were able to hang around in the fight. Still, although Mineski lose that fight, they do have a melee Rex down mid. They're not going to give away an Aegis or Cheese. And this is a very farm Syllabear, but again, it is a Syllabear. He can be kited. By himself, he's not going to win them the game. Panda ult continues to be not too effective as long as the BKBs are used at the proper time. What did Windrunner spend that gold on? Still nothing. 6,400 gold. Maybe she should get some damage.
I mean, absolutely. This is where you get either an MKB, a Maelstrom into Mjolnir. I mean, just some kind of right-click damage, even a Daedalus here, where you've already got some decent attack damage. With that Focus Fire, maybe you can start doing some serious right-click damage. I think MKB is probably the most cost-effective for actual damage output here. Also, selling those Arcane Boots, getting out some Boots of Travel at this point in the game could be useful as well.
So for Ice, I guess this is the moment where they farm. Queen of Pain has an Ogre Club up. If she wants to go for a BKB, which I believe is mandatory, it will be the next pickup. And That's one of the downsides to this Lincoln Sphere, is it's not enough. She can still be initiated upon because Mineski has so many single target disables that will render the Queen of Pain helpless. The Night Stalker silence, the Clink silence, the Blink Burrow Strike, the Shackle Shot, the Hex. It's too many. The Lincolns is not enough, so you need a BKB. This is a Queen of Pain who's still 51 minutes... hasn't really been that long. Wow. 51 minutes into the game. Yeah, that's right, folks. This is a 50-minute game. A Queen of Pain who still can't contribute, and she started with a very fast Perseverance. Mineski, it looks like they're split up for the moment. Mr. Swish pushing in top. Oh, this could be bad for the Clanks. He's got to be very careful. A ult to start that might scare her back. Blink Echo Slam. Clanks melts again, and the counter initiation by the Sand King. He's going to be forced to run away. He pops the BKB. He doesn't have the TP cooldown, so he can do nothing but run. And if Sand King goes down here, nobody is going for the racks. There will not be a backdoor attempt. Will Mineski actually throw another game? It's looking like a possibility here. Lutan, he's in a lot of trouble. The Hex comes through. Lutan still trying to get away. He's got the epicenter. No opportunity to move it, and Queen of Pain will chase him down. That last attack will get him, and it looks like one by one Mineski are getting picked off, but in comes the Night Stalker. Maybe he'll be able to turn this one around. And a lot of damage being done. Where's the low Druid in the midst of all this? He's pushing mid. He's not even with his team. And still, Ice wins the fight. They force some buybacks. But in come Mineski again, and I think we're going to see a Dead Age apparition here. No, maybe not.
He's going to keep it out just in time. I mean, they force buyback, so it's pretty much a reset here. They're just going to chew through a lot of this Mineski gold. This lone Druid is being a bit crazy. I don't know if that's where you want to be. He does have the heart. He does have 4k HP. He's going for this Rax at mid, and just Winner alone cannot stop him. That Spirit Bear is taking out this Rax. Holy crap, they need to stop the Spirit Bear. He's going to get a Rax at mid. Oh no, it's been hexed. Can they prevent it? They need to kill the Spirit Bear. He's going to get a Rax just before he goes down.
And he's got the buyback, and very smart decision here by the Lone Druid. He immediately buybacks to start the cooldown. Wow.
I don't know if that was a good trade, though. I mean, it's just a Rax at 52 minutes in. It's not like they're having problems pushing out this mid lane. It wasn't really worth suiciding for that Rax, I don't think.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you, but hey, he's got the buyback, so it's not a bad trade either.
Yeah.
It is going to help equalize the creep equilibrium, and when you're up against the Clinks with this many damage items, he can just go and backdoor you. They do have the exposed Rax bottom actually as well, so if the creeps ever get to the base, that could be an issue, and hey, getting melee Rex will help prevent that. I don't like this Windrunner purchase. I mean, I guess they're thinking backdoor cheese, and that's why she got the Necronomicon. This is a 53-minute Necronomicon. Ugh, it's got an icky feeling to it.
A Desolator would have given her more backdooring potential and pushing. You go to Desolator, it works on those buildings, and then you can you can actually push faster with a Desolator than getting a Necrobook 3 at this point in the game, so I don't really like it either. And it's not particularly effective against any of these Radiant heroes. I mean, it's not like any of them are that low on mana pool. I mean, you can maybe right-click a hero like the Earthshaker, prevent him from trying to blink with it, but I have a feeling it's just going to be a pretty non-impactful Necrobook, and they maybe to do some dewarding. They haven't actually got a gem at this point. It could do a bit of dewarding, as the Radiant team are pretty proactive with their warding at the moment. They've got ones in their jungle, they've been dewarding, and they also have a ward near Roshan. Speaking of Roshan, that could be the next big thing for Mineski. If they can get the cheese and Aegis again, then maybe they'll be able to break through Ice's defense.
Yeah, that Aegis and cheese, the clock is ticking, about 2, maybe 3 minutes to go. Actually, I think it's more like 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes to go here, and oh, well, I still don't know what to say about Mineski. I mean, I feel like they don't know how to close out a game right now, and I don't know if it's nerves, I don't know if it, whatever the reason is, it's just they get a lead and then they start to throw it away, and at this point in the game, this Queen of Pain has really not contributed anything. And speaking of this Queen of Pain, what is this ultimate? Oh, it's going to be a Hex. Where did she get this gold? I know she had a BKB money, a lot of additional gold. That's a big pickup. The Hex is finally they have some reliable initiation. They don't have to rely on the ES jumping in or dropping a fissure. Now Queen of Pain can Hex, and the Clinks can easily be burst down, especially if he's not able to pop that BKB. Bad time for lag.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, this is crucial stuff about to start happening here. The TP is coming in from the Lone Druid, getting ready to set the defense, and the problem is Lone Druid no longer has buyback. He doesn't have the buyback goal for one thing, but mostly he just does not have the cooldown, and that's all because he suicided for that mid-rax, which I still have to say was a terrible decision. That mid-rax at 53 minutes, suiciding for a rax at sort of 20 to 30 to maybe 35 minutes, sure, but at 53 minutes, Arax is absolutely meaningless. It's so easy to clear out those creep waves. You can see his Radiant Spirit Bear is doing a great job at mid lane, even against those big creeps. So he's going to be back in this fight. And if they take out the Lone Druid, this fight could be over very quickly. Not to mention, his Summoned Spirit Bear is on cooldown, so they could just focus down his Spirit Bear, which is pretty damn squishy compared to the actual Lone Druid himself. Sitting on 2.7k HP compared to the 4k HP of the Lone Druid. It's also going to be in the front in the battle lines. He needs to switch over the AC as well as the Radiance to his main hero. Else, this fight could go very badly, I feel, for Ice.
Oh, he's doing it right now. Hopefully he doesn't get caught out while he's doing it. Night Stalker charges in. Immediate entangle. Mr. Swish, very bold play. He wants to try and lock down the Panda, but that Panda has a BKB. Looks like Klink's going onto the Rex. Lone Druid just beasting down this Klink's Burrow Strike through. Where is the Lone Druid's help? Everyone trying to work on that Night Stalker. Finally, they bring him down, and the Lone Druid is immortal. This guy cannot be killed. There's nothing on the bear. It's not a big deal if it dies. Leshrac might get away. Queen of Pain joining the fight. That Lone Druid is just too big. Look how tanky he is. Oh my goodness, 46 armor. They did actually manage to get the melee Rex, but still, it is only a 1 melee Rex advantage, so not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah. Not worth it for the Clinks. Unfortunately for Isis, they only killed the Clinks. They were close to killing the Leshrac, and as well as a few other heroes. If they got 2 or 3 kills here, they could push through and go for Arax here. But even with Klinkstead, I feel like they are going to go all out and try at least get Arax here, maybe end the game. They'll resummon that Spirit Bear now, and I mean, they have got a very powerful team fight. They've got the Brewmaster ultimate, although at this point in the game, it's not that effective. Although Klinks is down, he's the main problem, because his right-click damage can just take down those Primal Split Pandas so damn fast. But at this point, with 40 seconds left on Klinks, it looks like they'll get a tier 2 tower, probably a tier 3 tower, and maybe this bottom Rax. Klinks is still down for quite a while, although there is a glyph up which will buy them a little bit of time.
Now, crucially, the epicenter was not used in that fight. A good epicenter, which we haven't seen much of this game, could turn this one, especially if the Senke is able to knock off a couple of these squishy supports. I'm not sure what the Windward's doing. Oh, picking up a DD rune here. Blink initiation. Down goes the Leshrac. Bad positioning. Senke does not pop the BKB. His ult gets canceled. Huge brain freeze there. That might cost them the game. He is being driven back by the BKB Panda, who still has that ult up. Meanwhile, Shackle Shot. Spirit Bear is shackled, but that really doesn't matter. Lone Druid gets hexed. Look how tanky he is. He's just going to bring down that tower. No backup for him. While this is all going on, Queen of Pain and Night Stalker duking it out. Still, they can't kill the Lone Druid. Queen of Pain wins that battle. Mr. Swish buys back. Klinks is back up. It's probably time to run here for Ice. And it looks like Earthshaker is going to get picked off. No buyback on him. Only the 2 support heroes dead. They should be okay for any sort of counter push, but Roshan is about to respawn. So Mineski, it wasn't the best engagement, but in the end, I think they're going to be okay with the way that turned out.
Yeah, they just had, with the glyph up, with the Sand King, I mean, they just had enough to throw at Ice to buy time. Klinks got back, and I mean, Klinks didn't even end up doing much to help defend. It was just a matter of the rest of the heroes having enough firepower to hold it off, although Klinks did get the kill in the Earthshaker. And that's going to help out, because no Earthshaker makes it a lot harder to defend. They're not going to have those chain disables, although he is back up in 20 seconds, as Night Stalker trying to hunt down this Lone Druid. If he pops a nuke, though, Lone Druid will just TP right out. Or actually, I don't even think I can kill him for one thing. That's the main thing. And it is going to be a Roshan attempt. They're pinging it. Winner wants to go on it. And we'll see if they can, in fact, take it down. And I have to reiterate, what you said initially, this Necrobook 3 is not a good item for us at this point in the game.
I mean, it's if anything, the item deserves more credit than it gets, especially with the average Dota player. You never see this item picked up by, you know, mid to low skill players. And even some better players, not a big fan of it in pubs. But in this situation, it is a mid-game item. The auras are nice. They're just not that important anymore. You really want as many heroes that can deal damage and be threats as possible. If you're just a support utility hero, especially against BKBs, I mean, Windrunner's great with the Shackle Shot, but if heroes pop BKB, she won't do anything. I just don't know how they're going to kill this Lone Druid. And 3,800 gold, I believe his buyback is cooled down, so he should be able to buy back if he needs to. And 2 lives with 4,000 health, 36 armor. I can't believe these numbers are even real. They will lose the range racks bottom. BKB popped by the Klinks. That is going to force him back. But meanwhile, they're going to go for this. Klinks with no BKB. This could be a mistake as the initiation begins on the Windrunner. Not able to lock her down. That was a Hex use. Looks like Panda ult is popped. Mr. Swish in the middle of everything. He gets entangled through that. Windrunner pops the ultimate. Is forced to force that back. But Klinks, BG, backdooring all through all this. And looks like Quapo going to clean up the Leshrac. Looks like Klinks on the way out. Will he get away? He should be okay. Still has the Aegis. Hex coming off cooldown on that Queen of Pain. How much chase will she give? Not too much. A smart engagement by Mineski. They came in, they got the range racks. They worked on the top tower, then
Queen
they got
of
out.
Pain at mid. Queen of Pain is going to go down. Dropping the gem as well. It is going to get picked up by the Earthshake, and Queen of Pain luckily does have a buyback, and they're going to lose Sand King here. Sand King does have buyback if needed, although he's not down as of yet. Lone Druid trying to cut him off. He's switched the Radiance and Assault Crest back to his Spirit Bear, and that's going to be able to chase down this Sand King if they can get an Entangle or some kind of lockdown. They need some more right-click damage. There we go. They get the Sand King, and elsewhere, Night Stalker, Windrunner, they're looking for the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain blinks out. He's just bought back. Clinks the entire time was actually trying to backdoor top lane, took out the tower. The Rax is still standing though.
I'm starting to feel like Mineski can win this by a war of attrition. No entangle onto the Night Stalker, at least not at the right time there, and so he will get away. With the Rax exposed, it becomes that much easier. Of course, without those small little buildings that sort of serve as buffers to the throne towers are going to start to take some damage. Ice is at that point where they need to think about going all mid. Did they get through either the Aegis or the Cheese in that last fight is my question. It looks like the Cheese still up on the Night Stalker.
I didn't see the Cheese.
Yeah, they're both
the Cheese
still
is on that. Okay. Okay, Cheese still on Night Stalker, and that's going to make it really hard. Next time, basically next time Mineski can just come and suicide for this top Rax. I mean, there is a glyph, but even with that, they've got the BKBs, they've got Cheese and Aegis. They should be able to get at least a melee Rax and probably both. Clinks is already sneaking around the side here. There's a Sentry Ward down. Do they spot him? It doesn't look like it, although he is going to sort of meet up with his team at top. Just play it as safe as possible. And meanwhile, mid lane, Ice are charging down mid lane. Are we going to see another throne race? I
think Clinks can win this one. He's at least going to force back some TPs. Blinken, BKB, he is going to get the third melee Rax. Nice job by BG, who after a very sloppy weak start, may be pulling his team across the finish line, showing that he is in fact not a one-hit wonder. He can carry 2 games in a row, and this time a successful carry. As I say that, Lone Druid is all in mid. I don't even know why he's attacking creeps. This is the time to maybe think about going straight for the melee Rax, the tower. The melee Rax are exposed on the bottom side. Lone Druid caught up by himself. He can slowly be burst down. He always has that TP if he needs it. Looks like he's got to turn around on the Sand King. Not able to focus him down. Ice have to devote like 2 heroes to base defense right now.
Queen of Pain's coming as well. With Queen of Pain and Silbear, they should be able to get bottom Rax. Maybe there we go. They get mid Rax. They should be able to get bottom as well. And Clinks is quite low in HP. ES is just there. He can maybe just block off the entrance with a fissure if they try to go in. There we go. Lone Druid goes in. There's no backdoor protection. They are going to have a glyph. Sheep goes, going to prevent Winner from doing too much. And they are going to try to focus down this Rax. Force a buyback from Night Stalker as Clinks. Has he gone in at top? Yes, he has. Clinks has the Aegis. They're going to take out Clinks once. They're going to get this melee barracks as well as the range barracks, it looks like. And Clinks, what is he doing? He's popped the BKB. He's going for the Rax, and it looks like he will get it. Mega creeps for Mineski, but this game, I have to say, I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah, Wenz has the buyback and then some. Actually, I think he's got the buyback. I believe he just does. He goes down. Oh, he's short by 150 gold. Oh, no. And it could be all mid-time for Mineski, who have the Clinks. They are missing the Sand King, but they may be able to brute force down this throne, especially with Clinks, one of the best heroes in this situation. I don't even, maybe he's trying to check Roshan here. It's nowhere near being up. And I don't think you want to let that Lone Druid respawn. 60 gold away from respawn, but that is about 60 seconds of time to wait. Actually, a little bit less than that. Another photo finish is coming our way. Are you excited, Gods? Are you ready for this?
I don't know how excited I am. Lone Druid is actually going for a Divine Rapier, by the way. He's picked up a relic. The only explanation is Divine Rapier, and this is a great initiation from Ice. They're going to jump on Mineski before they get into the base. Clinks, though, is going to try backdoor the throne. He is in there. He's going to have to get this tower first. The pings are there. They see it, and they're shackled, though. Meanwhile, great shackle shot from Fox. Split Earth to follow it. The chain stuns, and it looks like Clinks is being an absolute pain here. He is going to take down this Ancient Apparition. No, the Ghost Scepter is there. Shouldn't do enough damage there to kill him, and back comes the Brewmaster. Clinks not going to be able to get it just now, and is there a gem? They need something. Queen of Pain is a gem. Queen of Pain, though, is very, very low. Had to blink home, has to heal up, and Clinks popping the BKB, trying to focus down this Brewmaster. Brewmaster, ulti, here we go. Focusing the throne, great use of the Cyclone, and there we go. Lone Druid, he's got buyback all of a sudden, and he's going to come back in, and this Clinks does not have buyback if they can in fact kill him. Windrunner taking a lot of damage, will go down, and somehow
Oh, look at
Mineski
Clicks.
have not been able to end this.
He's still dancing around
He
the
needs to be
throne.
careful.
Oh my god, he's in a lot of trouble. He eats a Shadow Strike. The throne continuing to take damage. These creeps will murder it. Those catapults will do a lot. Clink's just running circles around the Radiant now. Are we gonna... The throne is gonna go down. Too many catapults surrounded on all sides. GG indeed, gods. I don't know if my heart can take another game 3. I don't know if the Pinoy fans' hearts can take another game 3, but we are going to have one. Ladies and gentlemen, Mineski pulls one out of the hat after really letting Ice back into the game. How many chances does Ice need? That is the question. We're about to find out. Game 3 coming up soon. Stay tuned, guys.